welcome back to Spacies, and this is the first upload I've done in a long time because I've been out of the country. I was off to Anchorage, Alaska. So to get there we had to go 9 hours to Honolulu. That was a bit of a journey in itself, and then we stopped over in Honolulu for 9 hours, then a 6-hour flight to Anchorage. Half asleep, dead to the world. I had to get in the car and find the steering wheel on the other side of the car and drive on the right, which is not something we do here in Australia. So that was a first for me. And yeah, we've been away for 3 weeks now. So we did that part of the trip in Anchorage. While I was there in Anchorage, I went to Best Buy and picked up my brand new laptop. I'm not going to show it now because it's kind of recording at the moment, but it's a HP Envy 17-inch, and it's a beast. So I can finally do some decent editing now, and that will mean that there will be some HD content coming to the channel as well. So while this video is just going to be basically what the state of the channel will be, and what I plan to do with the channel. Before I get to that though, just letting you know that on the trip we took a tour, a cruise ship down from Anchorage down to Vancouver. It was bucketing down rain the whole time, but we didn't care because we got to see bears, natural bears in the wild, fishing for salmon. We were like 50 meters away from these guys, and they just didn't care about us. They were oblivious to us being there. And I might try and put some footage of that on this video as I'm talking here. We took off on a seaplane, so that was another first for me. I'd never been able to get onto a seaplane before, so that was pretty cool. We just got dropped off into this beach in the middle of nowhere. It was bucketing down rain, but then the rain stopped. We got around a corner and off into the distance we could see bears, only about this big because they were about half a kilometre away, but they were near a waterfall, and we were just sneaking up close to them and getting photos and videos of these guys just being themselves, and two cubs along with a mum, and another set of two cubs with another mum. It was pretty cool. And so I've got all that video. I'll have that running as this is showing. I managed to get onto the Rocky Mountaineer. Now the Rocky Mountaineer goes from Vancouver. It was sunny by this stage, which was cool. We got through to Kamloops, which is in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of Canada. And then we continued on to Banff. And Banff, that was awesome. That was probably the highlight of the trip besides the bears. The Rockies, if you've never been, if you've got the access to get there, I totally recommend it. And I found dealing with Canadians was awesome. They were so polite. They were so interested in hearing us talk about our journey and our trip and where we're from, and it was just a nice trip to take, and to speak to these Canadians on our way was pretty cool. And then once we finished that, we went off to LA. We drove 10 hours from LA to Grand Canyon, and then spent a night in Grand Canyon and then drove back. I gotta tell you, driving in LA at night on the 6-lane freeways, I don't want to be doing that too often. They say they got no autobahn in LA, but they don't obey the speed limits there, and it was pretty full on. So that was getting thrown into the deep end real quick. So hopefully don't have to do that too often. I feel sorry for anyone that lives in LA and they have to do that on a day-to-day basis. Guys, that's not living. Get out and move to another quieter state. So anyway, so also now that we're back, I want to concentrate more on the channel. Yesterday I was trying to get over the jet lag, and so I drove up to the nearest shop here, and I picked up some games just for the channel to maybe film in the next few weeks. I got Epic Mickey on the Wii. That was a pretty cool pickup. Max Payne free. I've never played that before, but I've been playing that last night, and I gotta tell you, I'm really really impressed with that. I never played a Max Payne game before, I know. But I've heard so much about bullet time and how awesome that is, and I've been having a lot of fun with that last night, so I'll continue to play that. Also, Far Cry 2. These are all old games, I know, but these were like $3, $4 each, so that's the reason why I picked them up. Also, Shadowrun. Now, this is a really old one, and the main reason why I picked this up is because Shadowrun has a bit of an Australian attachment in that the original Super Nintendo Shadowrun was actually developed here in Australia, and that's something that I might touch on later on. I might do a top 10 games made in Australia. I'm still working on that, so that will be coming to the channel soon. And also I managed to pick up a GameCube game, which is not something you see too often in the hock shops here in Australia. In fact, that was one thing that I was really impressed with in Canada, is that the second-hand shops or the thrift stores, which you guys call them, I think, they're so full on compared to what we've got here. This guy in this shop that I went into in Vancouver, he had from wall to wall full of Genesis titles, Nintendo 64. He had just basically old retro games from dating right back to, I think the oldest he had was some NES games as well, including I saw a Legend of Zelda in its box, and the guy was asking for $120, but it was in mint condition almost, so that was tempting. I almost wanted to buy it, even though I don't actually own an NES, but that will change one day. I do plan on getting a Retron 5 or Retron 5, whatever they call that one, that plays multiple game systems. I do want to end up getting that for the game channel later. So basically, I will be filming from here on. I haven't gone away. I haven't forgotten anyone. There will be new content coming up shortly. And also, I wanted to give a shout out to Carbon Knights Gaming. Now, they read off one of my questions on their podcast, and that was a buzz hearing some guys talking about my channel for the first time on another YouTube channel. So a big shout out, thumbs up to those guys for giving me a mention. And the question was, what was the very first game that you ever bought? And my answer was a game called Pacar. We used to call it Pacar. Yeah, I guess you could refer to it as Pacer. It was Pacar, and it was on the Sega SG-1000 or the Sega SC-3000. Not very marketable names, but that was my very first console. That was the very first game I ever went out and got myself, and They had a bit of fun with that question, and I pretty much gave away how old I am because they were answering things like PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64, which made me kind of feel a bit old, but anyway. Anyway, so this has been another episode of Spacies. I've got some more Let's Plays coming up. Yeah, and just a reminder that I haven't gone anywhere. There will be new content coming up very soon. Thanks, guys.